What is up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a highly requested video on my Instagram, so I finally put together all of your questions and I'm going to answer everything about modeling. So I started modeling when I was 16 years old, and that's actually how I started a public Instagram profile. That was the main reason, and later on, because of my travel, I kind of converted it into what you see right now. If you haven't seen my Instagram yet, make sure you check it out. It's at Sheneller. So you guys send in some awesome questions about how you can start your own modeling career and a lot of other interesting questions. So let's not waste any more time and dive right into it. Alright, so the first question is, how do you get in? Where do you start? And similar questions like, what is the best way to start a modeling career? So I'm going to tell you guys how I started my career. Basically, I had no intentions of being a model whatsoever. In fact, I was very insecure. I did not like taking pictures. My best friend, she wanted to be a photographer and she demanded that we be her subjects. It was obviously not the first thing I wanted to do. I wasn't comfortable at all, but she was like, it's okay, trust me, just let me do this. And the pictures came out really nice for a bunch of kids just playing dress up and taking pictures. That really boosted my confidence because I felt like that was the first time I thought I looked nice in a picture, and I didn't think that was possible. We put these on Facebook, and then another one of my friend's moms used to work with my current manager. So she had seen my pictures and she reached out to me to let me know that if I was interested, that I could reach out to this manager. At the time I was super excited, but I was also really nervous. I was 15 years old and I didn't really know what the right thing to do was. There was a lot of a major misconception or a bad impression that the modeling industry in Sri Lanka had, specifically with the older generation like my mom. So she was very not okay with it in the beginning. It took a lot of time and persuasion. Since it was coming through a friend of ours, we knew that it was a reliable and safe contact. So it's really important that you make sure, one, that these are reliable, and two, that you are going with someone, and there's no shame in going with someone, especially if you are young. Go with your mom, it's fine. So the day finally arrived and my friend and I, we went for a portfolio shoot at my manager's house, and my manager's name is Jackie. And we were so nervous, but it went really well. Basically what she wanted to do was see me in person, get my measurements, and of course she wanted to take some professional pictures with me that she could send out to clients, but also she wanted to see how I would pose and how I would handle a photo shoot. And I spoke to her a month before the actual shoot. She was going to have a look at me and decide whether she wanted me as a model or not. So that was the day that she decided, okay, I like this girl. And her specific comments were that she just still tells me today that you looked hungry for it. You look like you really wanted it, and that's why I wanted to give you a chance. Why I'm telling you this is that sometimes so many people will tell you what you don't have, what it takes to be a model. I'm actually 5'7", which is a little on the shorter side for a model. I'm a dark skin, brown skin, as you can see, and back in that time when I started modeling, all the models that I ever saw were like light skinned, fair, and I just was constantly told I couldn't do it. So, but I wanted to still, and she saw something in me, and that's why she decided to take me on board. So after that, she basically started sending out my pictures to clients, and eventually we started getting in a few requests, and that is how my modeling career started. How long have you worked as a model? I have been a model for 10 years. So I was 15 when I met Jackie, but my first job was when I was 16, and I am 26 now. So that's 10 years in the modeling industry in Sri Lanka. Is it a good primary source of income? Depends on the demand for your look. If you have a look that a lot of clients like and they want to keep booking you, then you might not even have time to do another job because you'll be busy every single day. But at the same time, that's not usually the case for most models. A lot of models in the industry, I would say 70% of the models that I know, all do modeling as a part-time job, and they all have full-time jobs as well. How you build confidence to emerge into such exposure / how are you confident? To be honest, you gotta fake it till you make it. I didn't come into the industry confident at all. My first show, I was shaking in my heels, and all I could think about was not falling and doing the walk properly. My face just projected all the fear that I had. And I saw pictures of myself from that first ramp show and I was like, oh my god, this is horrible. I look like deer in headlights. The next one was better, and the next one was better, and little by little my heart stopped racing before every show, and I found myself enjoying the music and looking forward to going out and playing my character on the stage. So it comes naturally, you know, it takes time, but practice makes perfect, and eventually you'll be looking forward to step out onto the ramp or step out in front of the camera and do your shoot. So yeah, that's when the fun begins. Does height matter, and does beauty come into play a lot? Yes and no. The thing with the modeling industry is that it's not the pageant industry. You don't have to be a certain kind of pretty, and you definitely don't have to have a mainstream body type either. Generally what they are looking for is like a skinnier, lankier body type. They do look for tall girls, and there are agencies that only hire tall girls, but there are others that overlook that for other things like your facial features, your look, and whatever special thing that you bring to the table is. So yes, height is important if you want to do ramp, and when you are doing ramp, always the longer, more high fashion dresses will be going to the taller girls because they are able to carry it off better. You can still do ramp. I'm 5'7", which was actually kind of short for a model when I started modeling. I still, when we line up in height, I still stand kind of towards the shorter end of the line, but there are shorter girls than I right now, and I feel like the industry has become a little bit more accepting. But I think anything below 5'7", 5'6.5", it gets really hard to get into ramp modeling. But fear not, even if you are below 5'7", that doesn't mean the doors of the industry are closed to you. You can be short, but you can have a beautiful, unique look, or you can have a really pretty mainstream look that is great for commercial work. So there is a chance that you will get a lot of photo shoots. So that's the beauty of modeling. It's not just one thing. There are different types, and everybody can find a fit for them. So a question that I get asked very often is, what are the specifics? What's the first step to becoming a model? So I would advise you, the first step is to get yourself a manager or an agent. This is really important because especially if you are young, the industry, there will be people that will try to exploit you. People who know that you are keen to model might kind of convince you to do a lot of work for free. You don't want to do that. So don't be worried about the amount of work you get in the beginning. You just need to make sure that you find yourself a good home with a good agency or a good manager. Managers and agencies. So let's start with mine. My manager's name is Jackie May. Here's a picture of her. She's an awesome lady, and she's like my second mom right now. So I've known her since I was 15 years old, and she's groomed me and taught me so many things and protected me and given me so many opportunities, as well as taught me about branding myself. And that is why it's so important to have somebody experienced by your side. So with Jackie, she has a very unique look that she goes for when she's selecting girls. She's very exclusive with the kind of work that she gives us. So exclusivity is her main thing, and it's really important that you understand that if you want to work with her. Number 2 is Brian Kirkhoven. He's also a pillar in the industry. He's been around for ages. His specialty is tall girls for ramp modeling. All of his models are really tall. So yes, highly recommend Brian as well. If you are very tall and you're looking to do a lot of ramp work, that's your fit. Number 3 is the agency. So the agency is an actual agency. The previous 2, Jackie and Brian, are model managers. The agency has a wide selection of models, and they're not very particular about tall girls. If you are shorter but you have a very unique special look and they feel like they can work with it, they will definitely give you a chance. It's about finding the perfect fit for you. Your agency or your manager becomes your family basically, and you really need to know if you vibe with them. I'm serious, it's about that basically. So I urge you guys to apply for all and have meetings and hang out and go for a cup of coffee and see if you guys make a good fit. What have you done to stay in shape? I think the best advice I can give you guys on this is that if you're looking to make a career out of being a model, which is something that requires you to have your body in shape as well as having good skin, the best advice I can give you is to have a healthy lifestyle. Dieting and things like that are not going to work. They're not long lasting, and they're just going to make you really unhappy. I urge you to like adopt healthy lifestyle habits, healthy eating habits. When you make healthy eating habits, you start making them unconsciously, and then it's not such a huge burden. But have a balanced diet with a little bit of everything and very little sugar, sweets, and stay off the soda. That's not good for you. And drink lots of water. Sweat regularly, at least like about 2 to 3 times a week. You should in no means be starving yourself. Please eat a healthy, balanced diet and work out and drink water, and you're good to go. Myths surrounding it and its accuracies. I think one of the myths surrounding the modeling industry is that it is dodgy, but actually my experience has been far from it. I feel like if you are in the right place, looking and talking to the right people, and you are in the right industry, then there's nothing dodgy. It's actually a very professional industry. If you think that there's something dodgy about it, you are being exposed to something completely else that is not modeling. Another great misconception surrounding models is that they are ditzy and lightheaded, and that they're actually not very bright girls with really good genetics that got lucky. I really beg to differ. I think this is like one of the greatest misconceptions, and I think it's like a really unfair thing to say as well. If I were to name just some of the models that I know, they are, while modeling, they are also doctors, they are lawyers, they are supermoms, they are social workers, they are entrepreneurs who have their own businesses. So I think that they are far from being like airheads or anything like that. If you are inexperienced, how can you get help? So your agency, your manager will definitely groom you and give you all the tips and tricks that you need to know by the time you enter your first job. And that's another great thing about having an agency or a manager. But there's a lot of work that you need to put in as well. You need to do a lot of research, you need to do a lot of practicing. Practice your walk, practice your faces in the mirror. Practice makes perfect. And yeah, bring in your 110%. That's how you get the experience. My views on the Sri Lankan modeling industry. It is a large industry, and I'm only a part of just one corner of it, but it's definitely a growing industry. It has grown so much since the time I was 16. So 10 years of major growth, and the next 10 years it'll grow even more. I see a lot of amazingly talented designers coming up, and I'm so proud to say that they're Sri Lankan and to wear their clothes. You can see a lot of growth happening in the industry in terms of perception. Designers are becoming more open-minded. They don't necessarily want their photo shoots to look like international standards with like international looking and feeling models. They want an ethnic, real Sri Lankan vibe to their clothes now. They kind of want their models to look like the people who are buying the clothes, which is a wonderful progression from where I started, and I'm so excited to see that. So yes, I feel very positively about the growth of the Sri Lankan modeling industry. Alright, so with that, we are done with the questionnaire. I hope I answered all of your questions. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below. I'm thinking of doing a video with my top 10 tips for models who just entered the industry. These are little tips and tricks that will help you when you're packing your clothes, etc. So if you're interested in something like that, please comment down below and let me know if you would like to see that video. And with that, we are closing another video on this channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.